Hey everyone, and welcome to a review of Go-Go Power Rangers issue 18. We are diving deeper and deeper into the Rita's family arc, and this issue does get interesting. We're going to talk about it right now. Now, the issue opens up 10,000 years ago on the planet Edenoi. Now, if you can't remember what the planet Edenoi is, it's from the Kamen Rider world. That means the Kamen Rider world is somehow is somehow canon in the Power Ranger comics, which is really interesting because when we saw King Lexion, I was like, who's this guy? He's one cool looking wizard. Zordon doesn't usually hang out with wizards like this. He hangs out with weird looking wizards like in the Turbo Power Ranger movie. But to see a character like this, I was trying to think, King Lexion, where have I heard that name? And I typed it in the Power Rangers wiki, and then I remembered, oh shit, it's the guy from Kamen Rider. So Ryan introduced the Kamen Rider world, the American Kamen Rider world, into the Power Ranger universe, which is pretty cool. So the comic opens up with 10,000 years ago with Zordon talking to the wizard, and he's upset that Master Vile is just taking over planets, destroying them one by one, and Zordon wants someone to help him fight this war. And Lexion has this interesting bit of dialogue where he says, we shouldn't enlist someone who isn't ready. How about we build you someone who's ready for it? And that line where he says, we won't enlist those who aren't ready. That is a line that kind of comes back and bites Zordon in the ass later down the line when he recruits Grace in that, or any other Power Rangers that Zordon did recruit during his, I don't want to say conquest, but fight for peace. So that's a very interesting line that he had for him. But if you all remember, the people on the planet Edenoi built Alpha 5, so of course they built Alpha 1, and Alpha 1 is a combat droid. We then cut to the present where the Rangers are fighting Stabosaurus, and they easily make do of him with the help of Alpha 1, where they form the Tower Formation, I believe it's called, and they just blast the guy in the smithereens. Now, I don't think they've never done the Tower Formation in the show. I'm pretty sure they've done it with the Megazords, but I know that the pose they do in the comics is just something that they do in the Sentai when they just do the Sentai pose when they finish off an enemy. So I'm pretty sure this whole new pose is new to the comics. Then they might have done it in an episode that I missed, because there's so many episodes of Mighty Morphin and you can't see them all, and I can't remember them all. I only remember most of them. Some of them I remember vaguely, but I'm pretty sure this Power Formation or Tower Formation is totally new to the comics, but I do like it. It's a cool form of attack, and it's a really cool thing because they make quick work of Stabosaurus. So after the battle, the Rangers return to the command center with Alpha 1, and I do like the line how Alpha 1's just babbling on about the design of the command center and all the tech around it, and Kimberly goes, do you have any idea what he's talking about? And Jason just replies with alien stuff, I guess, just keep nodding. And as they enter the command center, Alpha 5 stops Alpha 1 thinking he's an intruder, but Zordon replies with he's a very old friend. And this is where we get the backstory of Alpha 1, where he was a command droid or a combat droid to help Zordon fight the aliens that Master Vile was sending out. And unfortunately, when they were on a mission, they were set up by a trap and the planet was caught in a big explosion. Now, Alpha 1 says he's been floating in space for centuries until he was finally rescued. Now, he doesn't say who rescued him, but you do see a spaceship, and we don't really find out who really rescued him. But he says he built himself together and he watched the evil that has been inflicted on the universe during his absence. And this is why he came to Earth, to help Zordon aid his battle against the cause that they started. He wants to finish what they started, and Zordon happily lets him join the team. And Alpha 5 is concerned why he never mentioned Alpha 1 to him, and Zordon says because he was ashamed of what happened. His burden to bear because he lost a friend. And this is an interesting bit of dialogue that Zordon says, because Zordon, of course, was ashamed of what happened to Grace and her team and how they all died on the moon, leaving only so many little survivors, and he never told the Rangers about that. So that means Zordon, whenever something bad happens, Zordon always views it as a burden that he doesn't want to tell anyone about. And I get the feeling that's going to be a running theme. If Zordon's got a secret, he's going to view it as a burden, so who knows what other secrets he's got apart from Grace now for one. I get the feeling there's a lot he's not telling us, including how he was meant to protect Rita as a child, which we'll get into later. Meanwhile, back on the Moon Palace, Rita's mother is freaking out that she's kind of alive, and I do like this interaction that Rita's mother has, because she drops a lot of info bombs saying that her Zordon was meant to be taken away with Zordon, and Zordon was meant to protect her, and Rita just manipulates the whole situation by saying she's the order of the universe and that her father is coming and they need to stop her. And I do like this bit of dialogue that she has where her mother's like really like over the moon that she's like seeing her daughter all grown up, and Rita's just sort of brushing it off like she doesn't know how to be nice, or she doesn't want to like fake it that much. But I kind of do find it interesting how she just fakes the whole situation by saying, she just dodges all the questions by saying, oh, that's not important, but what is important is telling me how to work the Dragon Sword. But we do learn that the reason why Rita was meant to go with Zordon was because she found out what her father was capable of, Master Vile, and how he was just destroying worlds. So Rita's mother let Rita go away with Zordon to be with her to be protected. And Rita wants to know how to use the Dragon Sword, and not Dragon Sword, Dragon Coin. And she says it's been dormant for centuries, and Zordon's not with us right now, so we need help to sort of unlock the key. And we do find out how to unlock it later down the line, and that's finding a worthy vessel for it. So Rita's mother eventually gives Rita the answers to unlock the power coin, and how you unlock it is just basically in dire circumstances they can be reactivated by someone who's worthy. So she tells her minions to go down to the earth. I nearly said down to the bottom of the sea, but go down to Earth and find someone with all those traits that Zordon adores. Someone who's got courage, honor, strength, all that stuff. And as this is going down, her mother is watching, and she has this concerned look on her face because she's figuring out what Rita's actually all about and her true intentions. And we're going to get to that later down the line at the end of the issue, because that's sort of where the issue ends off. But we'll talk about that later, because I love Rita's face as she's giving the order. It's just this sinister grin that she has on her face as she's telling them to find someone to sacrifice and unlock the coin for her. Meanwhile, we cut to Earth in the school where Trini is talking to the student counselor, and we sort of get this metaphor where she's talking about how she doesn't really trust Alpha 1 because he's been on Earth for how long and he's been spying on him, and she says it sort of sounds suspicious where he's just sort of appearing out of the blue. And the others reassure her, saying he did save us from an evil dinosaur and did our homework, so he can't be that bad. And Jason sort of reassures her as well, but says she's right to be concerned, but if Zordon vouched for him, then Jason's going to trust him. And Jason also says if this works out, maybe we can have a day off for once and have a normal social life once in a while. So as this is going on, Trini just doesn't trust Alpha 1, and I'll sort of get into that on the next panel where we see Alpha 1, and his motives seem a bit weird, but I do like this scene where they're all talking to Trini, and as Jason reassures her, she's got this really cool panel where she's just biting her lip, and it kind of looks really funny. It's sort of like she's worried, but it's a comedic face that she's making. And this student counselor lady, we've seen her 2 issues in a row. I think we've seen her in previous issues, I can't remember entirely, but she's appeared a few times, and I get the feeling like she's going to be like the metaphor where the Rangers talk about their problems and sort of talk about in a real life situation about their Ranger issues. So I get the feeling we're going to see her a few more times throughout this arc. Now let's talk about the Alpha 1 and the Alpha 5 interaction, because this isn't the cutesy interaction you would be expecting, because Alpha 1 just says we are warriors built to serve Zordon and make dream and peace and harmony a reality. And I do like Alpha's response, saying he's Zordon's hand and not his fist. His job is to simply keep him safe from anything and anyone. And anyone is bold, so does that mean Alpha 1 is going to be some sort of threat later down the line? But Alpha 1's motive is to make sure Zordon is safe, and they're fighting droids. They need to fight to keep Zordon safe. And Alpha 1 goes on this monologue saying, once Rita's defeated, we're going to come to the aid of our allies and free the countless worlds suffering in her wake. The tide is about to turn. And he says, I promise you, Alpha 5, this is only the beginning. And that means Alpha 1, I get the feeling he's got a few screws loose since he built himself together. He's going to be on some sort of revenge quest after getting blown up. I get the feeling he's got a few bolts undone and he wants to just go on this big revenge quest against Rita and Master Vile and characters like that for everything they've done to him. So I get the feeling that Alpha 1 might not be all there. He might be a bit of a loose unit. But during this whole interaction, before he goes on that crazy speech, I do like Alpha 1 where he says Alpha 1 calls Alpha 5 his great-great-grandchild, which is kind of funny, made me laugh. And he does ask if Alpha 5 is battle-tested, which is what leads him on that speech. But Alpha 1, I think we do need to keep a close eye on him, just like Trini said, so keep a close eye on Alpha 1 in future issues, because he might be a bit of a threat. Who knows? Now let's wrap this issue up. Now the issue ends with Rita's mother confronting Rita. I know I keep saying Rita's mother, I kind of forgot her name. I know I can look back and check, but it's too late now to edit it in. So Rita's mother confronts Rita, and she says she's been looking around the place, inspecting her marvelous home, listening in dark corners and locked rooms. It has many secrets, just as you do. And Rita says, Mother, I asked you to stay. I'm guessing she wanted to stay put so she wouldn't do this by snooping around and finding out what her true intentions are. And Rita's mother, she ain't happy. She's kind of pissed that Rita lied to her and he used her and gained her trust to get what she wanted. And I love Rita's response where it's simply like, perhaps I'm simply like too much like my father. And she's got this smirk on her face as she says that. And Rita's mother flips out saying her child should have been the shining light in this dark universe, the one to save it all, and she says it's her responsibility to stop her. And as she prepares to fight Rita, everything's flying off the table, stuff's going around, and she's probably about to kick Rita's ass. But I get the feeling because Rita summoned her, Rita's got something in mind to stop her, so I get the feeling this battle's going to go one way or the other. But Rita's mother kind of looks kind of intimidating, like her eyes are glowing, she's about to throw down. It's going to be one interesting battle. And that's pretty much where the issue ends. I do find it cool that the issue ended with Rita's mother appearing and she was in shock that Rita was standing before her, and this issue ended with Rita's mother just flipping out ready to attack her. So I'm curious to see how the next issue will end in a Rita and her mother sort of situation. Will it be them in the final panel or will it not be? Because that was an interesting way to end the panel with just her appearing, being in awe. This issue, she's about to attack her. So that's like an interesting change of fate between these two issues. So we're going to end the video here, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this issue. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'll reply to all my comments I get. I try to interact with everyone who comments on my video. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.